Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good. I love to see the smiles. We honor the original people, the Anishinaabe Three Fires Confederacy of Ojibwa, Ottawa, Potawatomi peoples. We recognize the Grand Rapids Community College is located on the land of ceded to the United States in the Chicago Treaty of 1821. We also recognize the Grand River Bands of Ottawa Indians as the descendants of original tribes represented at this treaty's signing. We express our gratitude to the original people, past, present, and future, who have stewarded this land for generations. We understand this acknowledgement must be coupled with a relationship of advocacy and support for Indigenous people. We recognize our responsibility to continuously uphold our commitments towards Indigenous communities. This land recognizes the sovereignty of Indigenous people and affirm their history and our efforts to be accountable to their needs. Next, we have Jamelia to share welcome remarks.
All right. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Good. All right. We already had the first check in. How's everybody doing this morning? Good, good. So like I said, good morning. Welcome to the second speaker of the 31st Diversity Lecture Series. My name is Jamelia Hardley, and I serve as the director for the Woodrick Center for Inclusion and Multicultural Affairs here at GRCC. On behalf of GRCC, I want to extend a heartfelt welcome to each of you for joining us both online and in person. It's wonderful to see our community come together for thoughtful conversations and learning through this brunch, which I hope you all enjoyed, and learning session. So as you have saw on some of the slides here, a lot of our bigger initiatives on campus have been in alignment with care, support, showing up for one another, and doing it together. So to stay in alignment, the theme for our 31st Diversity Lecture Series is cultivating a culture of care. So you will see this theme wrapped in and out of some of the speakers that we bring to campus, a lot of things that they touch on, and hopefully give you some toolkits, and talking points to be able to extend that learning outside of here. Cultivating a culture for care calls for us to reflect on what it truly means to care. Care for ourselves, care for one another, and care for our communities where we're a part of. At this time, our nation and world is navigating division and uncertainty. This commitment to care is very essential, probably more than ever. As we gather today, we also recognize the richness of October's cultural celebrations. We honor Hispanic Heritage Month, celebrating the stories, the leadership, historical contributions of the Latinx communities. We acknowledge Indigenous Peoples Day, uplifting the enduring presence of wisdom of our Native peoples. And we recognize Filipino American History Month, paying tribute to deep impact Filipino Americans have had in shaping our nation with their stories. Together, these observances remind us that care and community are interwoven in our diversity and in the foundation of our collective strength. Today's speaker, Carlos Sanchez, embodies that spirit through his presentation, Embracing Uncomfortable. As our second of three speakers in our fall lineup, Carlos invites us to explore how growth often begins when we learn in discomfort, when we challenge assumptions, engage in dialogue, and make room for learning. We're so glad you're here to experience and be a part of it. Next, I'll invite both Alyssa and Gabe to share a brief update about the Woodrick Center for Inclusion and Multicultural Affairs. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. How are we doing? Good. I'm so glad to see you all today. If we haven't met already, my name is Alyssa Gomez. I serve as the Associate Director in the Woodrick Center for Inclusion and Multicultural Affairs.
I'm Gabe. I serve as brother coordinator in the Woodrick Center.
And my conversation today is just to share about kind of what we've been doing in the Woodrick Center. Um, so, as you might have seen, and as you might know, our office has experienced a couple of changes and transitions this year. And we want to just take a moment to kind of reflect on what we've been doing. Um, as always, our heart at GRCC, we have a commitment to inclusion. So the Woodrick Center for Inclusion and Multicultural Affairs continues to be student-centered, student-focused by providing a multifaceted approach to learning, growth, and development. Our mission is to foster equity, belonging, inclusion, and cultural understanding through student engagement, community partnerships, and campus-wide connections. So we lead programs such as the Brother to Brother group, ALAS, which is Assisting Latinos to Achieve and Succeed, NIA, Women with Purpose, and our new Rise Up and Achieve initiative. So as you've seen, we've had a lot of events and programs that go on throughout the semester, and we've had a really good engagement over this first, 8 weeks, 9 weeks? I don't know where we're at. We're somewhere. I know we're past half, so I'm very excited about that. um, yeah, so we continue to actively strategize and plan, and we're always like looking to reshape what we bring to the table for our students and listening to them and what they might need. So yeah, we're continuing to make adjustments moving forward in next semester. But as always, together we are committed to ensuring that our whole community is taken care of and that we're building community and the other ideals that I talked about earlier into our daily practices here at GRCC. And I hope that it continues to make an impact on our students and our campus culture. So thank you, and I'll turn it over to Gabe.
Yeah, thanks, Alyssa. Um, like I said, my name is Gabe Brown. I serve as brother coordinator. As we look ahead, sustaining initiatives like diversity lecture series and our student engagement program, it requires your support. We invite you to consider making a donation to the Woodrick Center for Inclusion and Multicultural Affairs. Your contributions help us maintain meaningful programs, bring world class speakers to campus, and ensure our students have spaces that affirm and uplift them. For ways to give, please visit our GRCC Woodrick Center website to find more information. Every gift, no matter the size, is a yes for our students, our community, and helps this work continue. Your support helps us cultivate care and community at GRCC. I'll invite Jamelia back up, go over some logistics for this almost afternoon.
All right. So, for those who may be new in the space, we want to make sure that you obviously know what's going on when we're doing things. So, I just want to cover a couple of different logistical things so you know what to expect, and it's not a surprise, at least for you. So, we will have a presentation. We will have opportunity for both in person and online to engage in conversation at the end of the presentation, where you're more than welcome to ask any questions, make any comments, or reflections, especially if you were moved by something that our speaker gives you today. So that will happen at the conclusion of the speaker's presentation. And then for our virtual audience, there will be a QR code that pops up. So you're more than welcome to scan that and submit your questions, and we will be sure to make sure that your voice is represented in the room. Also, feedback. So, in order for us to continue these amazing events, create these spaces, conversations, and dialogue, it is critical that we collect your voice and your insight as you are the ones experiencing this in a way that is participating. You're our audience. We do this for you. So we want to make sure that you're represented in our feedback as well. So at the end of the presentation as well, there will be another QR code for you to submit a very quick survey to submit your thoughts, questions, feedback, recommendations, anything of the sort. Lastly, of course, all of these things behind the scenes happen very rapidly and for a very long time. So I want to make sure that I give space to say thank you and show my gratitude for a lot of the folks who help make these events happen. It couldn't be done without a lot of people, so I want to make sure that I acknowledge. Our sponsor each and every year is Steel Case through and through. They show up for us and allow us to continue this with their monetary donation. So we want to give a special shout out to Steel Case. We want to give a shout out to some of our campus partners who have graciously collaborated with us in other lecture series, our counseling and well-being, future tech, transfer to bridges. Those have been some dynamic collaborations, and we're looking forward to other ones in the future. Our media and tech support always shows up for us as well, so we're very grateful for them. Our ASL interpreters who have been traveling from other cities, which is even more amazing. So we're very appreciative and grateful for them as well. Creative Dining came through with the lovely brunch, so I hope you all feel taken care of and have some full tummies in the audience. Don't fall asleep. Do not fall asleep. But yes, we're really appreciative for Creative Dining as well for coming through and feeding us and taking care of us. And of course, our Woodrick Center team, which you've had a chance to meet most of them, from our student mentors to our staff members. And then lastly, thank you to you all for joining us and being a part of today's conversation. Next, I would like to invite Joel up to introduce our special guest today. Thank you.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you for having me, and hello for those who are watching through our screens. Please join me to know a little bit more about our keynote speaker, Carlos Sanchez. Born in Mexico City, Carlos Sanchez is the executive director of Casa Latina at Davenport University. Before joining Davenport, he spent 10 years at Ferry State University, where he developed two initiatives: Líderes, a professional development and leadership program, and Emprende, an entrepreneurship program in Spanish, claro que sí. Both were designed to serve the community by developing Latinx leaders and entrepreneurs. Over the 10 years of the Leaders program, more than 200 Latinx uh, professionals have graduated, with many advancing in their organizations, finding success elsewhere, and successfully running offices. A graduate from the International Business Program at Davenport University, he holds a certification in Design and Innovation Management and a Master of Arts in Design from Kendall College. Please help me give a very warm welcome to Carlos Sanchez.
Thank you very much. Gracias. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Almost noon. Thank you for having me here. Just a couple of things before I get started. A couple of acknowledgments. It is truly an honor, and it's a pleasure, but it's an honor really to be here because this GRCC was the first institution that opened its doors to me 30 years ago when I came here to the U.S. I came here in my early 30s, have a college career, if you will, in Mexico City. I came here, and so this was my opening into not just the U.S. educational system, but also the Grand Rapids community, the community in general, the new country, etc. And I learned a lot, and I have really good memories, very warm memories. Also, I had the pleasure to serve for about a year and a half as a trustee of this institution, and to see how much work everybody puts into the day-to-day to run this, and how much the students' lives, the students' benefit, the students' well-being, how much is at the forefront of every single staff person here at GRCC, and leadership and the board was truly amazing. Acknowledging that, and also thank you all for coming here. I, I I was actually thinking how many will want to people want to come at noon to see me speak, and because also as you were hearing, the theme of this lecture series is a culture of care, and I'm going to speak about being uncomfortable. So it's like, how does it really relates to the other? But walk with me, we'll get there, right? This is still me. This is what I was introduced. But the point that I want to make here is that, as I said before, I came here in my early 30s, and I spoke the language. I had lived in the U.S. before, but never in Michigan. I was somewhat recently married. My wife of 28 years is here with me and has always been next to me, and so I was trying to get used to that. So coming to again, being here at the RCC, taking classes, and there were students right next to me, a lot younger than I was, much better English, a lot more knowledgeable of everything. Right? I took like 3 or 4 classes that I shouldn't have taken. Why? Because why would I go to the advisor? I mean, come on, who goes to the advisor? Well, I should have gone to the advisor, right? So, anyways, all those things that I learned, that I had to learn, and also one thing that I forgot to acknowledge, that I speak about my topic today, understanding that I have the benefit of being now in my late 50s. Now I know what I didn't know then, right? So if you hear me saying something that you'll be like, well, of course, now it's easy for you. Yes, it is. But at that point, it wasn't, right? So let's just keep that. So um, the entire thing is what I'm going to talk to you about is not going to be a revelation. It is not going to be something that came to me from outside. This is something that you probably know, you've heard before. But so many, as they say, you're speaking to the crowd, you're speaking to the choir, right? Well, yeah, but the choir has to train every now and then. So sometimes we need to hear it a couple of times before we actually learn. For example, years and years ago, there was a book called, gosh, I just blanked on the name. It was not the clock. It was the, anyway. It was tremendous. It was really really famous. And later on, people understood that, well, this is something that The Secret. That was the name of the book, The Secret, and sold millions of copies or thousands of copies. But later on, people thought, we've heard this before. Well, yeah, just repackage. We need to keep hearing this. So all the disclosure. So why embracing uncomfortable? Why do I want to talk to you about embracing being uncomfortable? Um, as I said before, I've been there. So this is my recollection of what happened, what should have done, and what I recommend for you to do, even if you are at my age, that someone might say, well, it's done. No, I still have 10 good years ahead of me. I hope. So when one is frustrated, I'm sorry, when uncomfortable comes from being frustrated at something, right? So and you don't have the job that you wanted, or the partner that you don't wanted. You're living in a place that you didn't want it, etc. So if you don't take stock of the situation, one just keeps doing things automatically. That's my theory. So if I'm not making the money that think I should be making, I'm just going to go work harder, right? I'm working 60 hours a week. Well, let's work 70 hours a week because that should be the solution. Why? Because usually that's what everybody's telling us to do, right? Just work harder and you can do it. You can do it. And at some point, this is where it starts clicking with the culture of care that is really not that easy, or sometimes that is not really the answer. So we keep hardening, we keep pushing through no matter what. Um, and we have an opportunity to do here, and we go here, and because we don't, that's not working, and someone says, no, you know what, you should do this. Yeah, okay, let's go over here, let's do this. And we are like all over the place. So one starts neglecting oneself, right? Again, working harder, not taking time to actually breathe. In the last year, I've learned a lot about breathing, and there are a number of books and podcasts and authors that talk about breathing, which to me was like, I mean, I breathe. Like, I know how to do this, right? But it is, I encourage you to read about it and really dig a little bit about breathing, not just like during the day and in the very morning at the end of the day. It my God, is tremendous. Um, so sometimes we end up burning, as it reads, we end up burning the candle on both sides, and we just neglect ourselves, right? Um, but there's a piece right there that, if you are at an age that, if you are at an age where you can do that, but with a plan, and if you do it consciously, I think my premise and what I'm trying to tell you here, I think that's where the right combination lies. So let's go through it. So you went to college, and you attended the right college, because there are good colleges, there are bad colleges. If you want to go like the Ivy League, right, or the one that this, that. So I went to the right college. Um, I also did the internships that I was asked, that I was told that this is the I spent time at Google. Why is it that I'm not getting the job that I want? I did what I do. I did what I had to do. What people told me what I should be doing. Yet I don't have the job that I wanted. So I'm starting to get frustrated. Um, I don't, or I went through college. I went through the right college, but I got this menial job. This is not what I want. This is not what I expected. This is I went to U of M, or I went to State, and I'm an assistant to somebody. Like, no, I should be in the C-suite right now. Why? Again, because this is kind of what has been told, that we should be doing this. And this is, let me tell you my this is kind of my story. When I was in, before I left Mexico City, so I did 2 years of college again. I was in hotel management, and I went to the right school. If anybody knows about colleges in Mexico City, I attended Universidad Iberoamericana, which is an Ivy League school in Mexico City. Of course, I ended up with tons of debt, but I had to go to the right school. And so I wanted to I wanted to be in hotel management. So I was in the right school. I was meeting the right people. Right, there was one colleague of mine. Her family owned kind of like the Marriott of Mexico. I mean, tons of. So it's like, come on, I'm right here. This is. I'm sure I'm gonna get a job. Um, and in talking to her, um, and talking to other professors, I got an entry level job. And when I say entry level job, I literally mean entry level job. It was a bellman. So I'm at the U of M of hotel management schools, and I'm getting this job. And of course, I'm not trying to say that that is not a good job or an important job. At at that age, for me, was like, come on, this can't be true. So frustrated, right? So I had to go and keep going and keep going. But again, I was also comparing myself to those that in my mind were successful, not knowing the reasons they were successful. So going back to this colleague of mine, well, she was on her way to be the vice president of whatever you want, and like, why can't I have that job? Somebody might have come to me and said, because you're not the son of the owner. So bad comparison, right? I shouldn't be comparing myself to her. I should be comparing myself to others that were in my league, if you will. So again, so just keep working harder. I ended up taking an internship at a company, international company, Club Med, and I spent 4 years there. And I thought this is just fantastic. After 4 years traveling abroad, etc., I'm going to come back, and jobs are just going to fall, right? So, spoiler alert, it didn't happen that way. So here's an example. I was 2 years into that career. I had started in Ixtapa, Mexico. Then I went to Cancun, and I went back through. Well, I did several hotels in Mexico. And when I was in Huatulco, in one, I met a woman, a colleague of mine. We started dating, and I can't say we fell in love, but we started dating. I mean, we lived together, meaning in the same hotel. And then the owner, not, I'm sorry, the manager of the hotel, what is called the chef de village, suggested, you guys look like, you guys are a really nice couple. Okay. I mean, we've been dating for 3 months. Yeah, you should get married. What? Yeah, you should get married. You're the right couple. I mean, this, etc. We'll pay for it. So basically, I mean, it was at the hotel, right? You bring your family, we pay for it. To me, it was not knowing that he was padding his resume, right? Because he had organized a wedding, and again, it's too much detail, but anyway. So that was me. I'm in the back. There were, in my wedding, there were 250 people that I did not know because they had arrived on Saturday and I got married on Wednesday. Yeah. And all my friends were there, everybody in white. It was beautiful and all that. And I thought, man, this is kind of cool. I mean, I'm fine, right? 6 months later, we split because she went to another hotel. I went to a different one. And 3 months later, so 9 months after, I was filing for divorce. Yeah. So, one of the reasons that I wanted to bring this up is that when I did that, so now I am in my late 20s, I was in my late 20s, and I thought, well, first of all, during the wedding, it like didn't feel right here, right? But everything just went pop, pop, pop. And I am in the ceremony. My mother is there, my aunt, dad, 2 sisters, and they look at me like, "What are you doing?" Like, no, this is. I mean, look around. Isn't this beautiful? But I should have stopped for a moment and realize I was uncomfortable, but I did not stop and breathe and say, why where's this right here to my gut feeling, right? Fortunately, later on, I went to another place by myself. For whatever reason, they took me abroad to Northern Africa. I was by myself, and I thought, this is not going to happen again, right? If the next time I commit to somebody, is going to have to feel different. I don't know how this is going to be, but it's going to have to feel different, right? So that was one. So my personal life. Another story on my personal life, but this is more on the professional side. So I was, I think this is the one. Well, you see where the door. So it's Northern Africa. It's in Tunisia. The place is called Jebel Adouche, and I was there. This is where it looked on the outside. Yeah, there were camels, and there's almost nothing there. The place is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But I was by myself. At that point, I really internalized. I thought, what do I have to be for myself? My entire life, after being almost 4 years there, my entire life was 3 suitcases, big suitcases. I must have had the equivalent to $2,000 in the bank to my name, and I'm approaching now my 30s, right? And no college degree. So I thought, so again, instead of stopping and thinking, what's going on here? I am very, very uncomfortable. I need to embrace this. I need to really, really write down everything that I'm feeling, that is going through it. Instead of doing that, I decided, nope, I gotta move. So basically, kill the pain, or move away. Not so try to not feel the pain, to not feel what I'm feeling, and just keep moving on, right? Maybe work again. Going back to at that time, that's not what I did, but maybe work harder, etc. So 2 instances in my life, again, that now, of course, in my late 50s, I'm thinking, I should have really, really distilled that those experiences to the nugget of it, and really taste it, feel it, because when you are my idea is that if you can taste discomfort, failure, you can taste the worst of what happens to you. It sticks in you, sticks in your gut. You can almost smell it. You remember how that feels, and that pushes you out of that. And but one has to lean into that rather than just put a lid on. Um, I hesitated to share this comparison because some of you might not get it, but I'll say anyways. If you had a lot of fun one night, you maybe had a little too much to drink, you wake up on Saturday morning and your head is going vroom, 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 right? We usually tend to grab a couple of ibuprofen and just pop it. I have not done that. Not the not drinking, but not the pills. I don't recall when was the last time I did that. And my wife will tell you he doesn't take pills. And the reason I don't take pills is not that I love to have a headache. It's just that in my mind I'm like, you need to feel this. You need to feel this. I know I'm gonna do it again, but at least it's gonna give me a should I do it, right? I have to work tomorrow, or at least I have to wake up tomorrow. I mean, and again, late 50s is not the same when you are younger. So that's what I don't take the pills, because I really want to feel that. Not so much the pain. I'm not a mad, what's it called? Sadist, masochist. It's not that I like pain. It's just that I want to really feel what it's like, so it doesn't happen again, or hopefully won't happen again. So now, of course, I think when I speak about discomfort and all that, it warrants speaking of what is it that I mean by one but not the other. So what I speak about discomfort is just that, right? Not having the job that you want at the moment that you want it. Maybe you have a partner and that partner breaks up with you. Like, man, I thought she was the one, or I thought he was the one, right? We're in my 20s, and like, no, that probably won't be. Not finding the right job. I mean, that's what I'm saying about discomfort. What I definitely don't mean by discomfort is to be bullied, right? If you have a person that you are, or you know a person who's being bullied, or is the victim of discrimination for whatever reason, that is not what I mean. That needs to be addressed, and definitely that's not what I mean. Or physical pain, emotional pain, that is not. Um, because our society, um, we are being pushed to be um, hyper productive, right? So again, keep working harder. Why? Because your employer, you need to exceed your employer's expectations. But with the advent of technology, and of course, it could be AI, it could be anything you want, you can exceed your employer's expectations without necessarily having to work 70 hours a week instead of 60. Um, some employers might want that. So at that point, embrace that income, being uncomfortable at that point, and start seeking for something else, because that is not the way it should be. So um, eh, the I wish there was if you are in this place of being uncomfortable, again, because of the job and whatnot. I wish there was a group for Latino men that could get together and talk about this. Fortunately, there is one for Latinas in West Michigan. I am very lucky to know the founders of the Latina Network of West Michigan, and that's what they do. They have this is their Facebook page. So they have 2,000 followers, and actively about 300 people, 300 of them meet regularly at a book club, at other, and they are so supportive of each other. I really I really wish that in this case, in my community, in the Latino community, I really wish there was something like that for men, because in the you heard that I developed with others. We developed a leadership program for Latinos when I was at Ferris, and throughout the 10 years, 70% of the applicants were women, 30% were men. And it maybe would move to 31, 69, but basically across the board, it was 70-30. Somehow, men, in this case Latino men, don't seek support. I am sure they know they need it. For some reason, we tend not to. And so, if you know of anyone like that, please tell them to seek help, support. Just talk to each other, right? Um, I know we said questions or comments to the end, but if there's anybody that want to have a question, that has a question or a comment or something, please feel free to interrupt or to just raise your hand. So, anybody so far? Yes. Tell to your younger self. That is incidentally the kind of like the next slide. So when when we are younger, right? Just because we're younger, we can again. I say we can embrace being uncomfortable. We can rather than at 60 years old, right? So if in your 20s, mid 30s, you're like, well, I don't have the job that I want, therefore I'm not making the money that I need to make. I'm gonna have to have live with two or maybe three roommates. And even though I work in a professional setting, now this is not college anymore. If that is the case, well, do it instead of having to have roommates at 60 years old, right? So, and again, this is a piece where I was kind of hesitating because, if you're in your 20s or late 20s, early 30s, people might say like, "Come on, really?" Of course, because you have money now and you have a house. Yes, but I wish I could have told that to myself, right? And I wish that at that time, this is kind of again the premise. I wish that at that time, I could have just take a moment, look around, and just like, okay, why I don't have the job that I have that I want? Well, because this. Just study, bounce it with someone else, and out of that, like, okay, now I know. Let's move on, so I don't repeat the same patterns that I keep repeating because most of us do that, right? We just keep going and keep going and keep going until someone says, "You've been through this path for 5 times, man. Don't you think it's time to move this way?" Or you know that you need a college degree, right? I mean, that position that you keep applying to, it says right there, you need a bachelor's. You don't have one. What do you think is the reason you're not getting it? Things like that, right? Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I signed up for this because I really like your subject um, that you were speaking about being uncomfortable, embracing it. Because when I was younger, like you, I made a lot of mistakes and just kind of like a hamster in a wheel. But I look back now and I appreciate all of those mistakes because, you know, it is kind of like you were saying with the headache, just kind of deal with the pain because then when it comes up again, you're not doing the same thing. And it's funny because, nothing has changed in life in terms of the mistakes that I made then, but because life is kind of like a full circle, I'm met with those circumstances again today. I remember all that I went through. And so it's so easy for me to realize, no, I'm not going to do that again. And I feel like life sometimes can be a real teacher to us, if we accept that I can't keep doing this, you
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah.
I really appreciate you and
Thank you.
what I've heard you say because we're kind of in the same age group. I'm a little older, but you're on the right path.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And it's a kind of, I mean, it's just the nature of life, right? But I mean, we don't get wisdom, if you will, until we are at that age when we're like, oh yeah, that was why, right? So that's why hopefully we can transfer that to other generations, right? To younger, they will make mistakes. That's for sure. But let's hope that they don't make the same mistakes, right? Yeah. Thank you for that. I'm just so okay. Yes. All right. So now moving into care, right? If we know if we know that, like I know now, I know better, right? Now I know what should have done. This is one of the things that really, really resonates. Intentionality. Very few things happen if we're not intentional on it, right? So, uh, so what says a care practice is not just a feeling of goodwill. We're not just going to do this because is because it's going to happen, right? Like if I am a good person, I'm not going to affect you being good. I need to actually go to you intentionally and said yes, no, talk to you, right? So it has we have to make like it reads intentional choices, and and trust me, it is hard because when I was younger, when I got here, um, eh, 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 so I was in community college. I finished community college. I went to Davenport, finished Davenport, and thanks to my wife's network, I started meet a lot of people, and for some reason, people will come to me and say, maybe we're looking someone like you for a board. Yeah, absolutely. To me, at that point was, I had just arrived. Getting to know people to me was like going back in when I was in high school, and the popular girl says hi. You're like, oh my god, right? So, well, 8 girls say hi to me. Basically, I ended up serving on 8 boards. Yeah, that's not good. That is not good, right? So not only I was just working the regular hours, but also I was serving, and I really put quotations because I was not really being of help in those 8 boards, right? So be also intentional in the choices that you make. Yes, when we are young, we need to hustle, right? We need to go. We need to look for that. But again, try to be as intentional as possible. Be discerning, and how are you going to do that? How are you going to know which one is the right one, which is the wrong one, or which one is better for you? Just asking someone uh, who's been there who's been there before you, right? And and and, and I believe that um, we are almost in the right track where we've not just in this country but in general, we've reached kind of that height of uh, um, hyper productivity, right? We're starting to care about us. Maybe it's because we see so many cases of people that have mental health issues, or maybe because now it's okay to talk about them. Maybe they existed before, right? Um, so what I also want to champion is it's a culture, that culture of care, right? So how do we do that? And again, going back to that Latina network, Western Michigan, this is exactly what they're doing. They care about each other, right? They connect, they empathize with each other. For your traditional Latino male, it is really hard to be vulnerable. Really hard. Why? Because our usually our fathers, or in general, the patriarchy tells us, "No, man, you have to be strong. Don't, no llore, no llore. Don't, men don't cry, men don't cry." And we're like, so, but it is hard. And just like this, I have no problem, of course, again, with the wisdom of being in my age. I have no problem being transparent and being and tell you how where I ache and why not to all of you, but in one on one, and also to bring others along, right? Um, right now, what I'm doing personally is I reach out to again particular Latino males because I know they don't do it naturally, and also really not so much with Latino females because sometimes it's kind of weird to have coffees and lunches with Latinas that are a lot younger than I am. It'd be like, what's this guy doing? So, but just, but nonetheless, I try to have to create space for that. Um, so one thing, if you are, let's say, on my side of the age, um, give time of yourselves to do that, right? To sit down with people, to care. Sometimes you might not find it in the person right next to you, right? The typical, well, but my daughter doesn't want to talk to you. Well, of course not, but your friend might want to talk to your daughter, and then your daughter's going to be like, oh, that's awesome. And you'll be like, that's what I was saying, right? It happens. And if you are on the younger side of that, just ask. Just ask. Hey, I'm looking for a mentor. I'm looking for someone to talk to who's been there. Sometimes the term mentor is kind of charged. Like if someone had come to me 10 years ago, I said, "Can you be my mentor?" I would be like, "Ooh, I'm not ready for it." Right? If they said, "You've been there before. I'm on that path. I don't want to make the same mistakes. Can you help me?" I'll be like, "Oh, absolutely. It's the same thing." So if, ask. Don't assume that the individual is too busy for you. I tell people, if I'm telling you I can meet, I can meet. It might not be this week, might not be tomorrow, it might not be tonight, but we can meet, right? I'll make space. I'll make space for that. That is one of the reasons some 13 years ago, I developed, or we developed Líderes, that leadership program, because I used to be the director of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and in that position, a few young Latinos, Latinas professionals will come to me asking for questions, and I was sort of mentoring because there was no structure really. So I thought, I'm doing them at the service. Maybe we should put something together. So that's how this happened, and they are continuing with that program. So yeah, it is possible to, if you are a young professional that is looking for something like that, you will find others. They're out there. So, but of course, there are things that, again, just to kind of the environment, I guess, is telling us, that I keep going to that hyper productivity, because for some reason, we all see it, right? But it's in social media that an influencer is making millions of dollars. Well, why? I should be making millions of dollars too. I should make it thousands of dollars. Where it is not all about money, or to work harder. Let's be honest. This culture, as opposed to the culture where I came from, the Latino culture versus the U.S. culture, if you will. This culture is very individualistic, right? And we are from this type of culture where we all come along together. Sometimes it's also charged. It's too many, but I think if we help each other, I think we can go beyond that. And those of us that are already in the system, it is our responsibility to change those organizations internally, because the new generations are trying to change it on the others outside, right? But when the leadership of an organization remains the same, remains with the same ideals or ideas of the past 20, 30 years, they're just going to go against the wall. So it behooves us to change it from from the inside. Um, so it is again to finish my presentation. I think discomfort is part of growth. If if, if 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 you feel, if you are in your 30s and you have a really good job, yeah, that you're making money, but you feel comfortable, you're like, man, this is life. And if you're in your 30s, that's not the right job. Trust me, you are on a bad path, because that cannot happen. It happened to me about 7 years ago. So about 7 years ago, I was at Ferris, and I loved being there. It was a great organization. But I remember we were in a summer where everything was going fine. I was very happy, and I told my wife, "This is, I'm having too much fun. I'm too comfortable. This can't be," because I am at that time 10 years away from retiring, if not more, right? So this sounds more like I'm ready to retire. I was not ready to retire. I mean, no, right? No. Correct. So if I don't seek on discomfort, if I don't seek something that to shake me, trust me, life would have done that for me. Right? And sometimes it might already have happened to you that that life, nature, God, whomever you believed in, nature comes and shakes you once, like first call, no, this is fine, this is fine. Second call, and by the third call, you got divorced, or you lose the job, or God forbid, a really a death or something like that. But life has a way of telling you, you gotta move, you gotta do something different. Try to if one develops this practice of understanding oneself when things are going well and when things are going bad, if one develops this skill, if you will, you'll find yourself at that first call, you'll be like, I get it, I'm doing it, don't need to bring it again. And take that course, finish college, do a master's, I don't know, something, right? Talk to your mentor, because again, third call is not gonna be good. So thank you very much.
We'd love to open it up for questions for Carlos. Does anybody have any questions? And Joel, thank you so much for being on that side. Any questions?
Comments?
Thank you so much for your insights. Now that we're leaning into more automation and AI, and we're freeing our mind, so to speak, from some of these menial tasks, do you think curriculum, in particular in business and maybe even international business curriculum, is matching that? Like, is it preparing us as students to kind of find that uncomfortable space and see the hope? Like, I think when we automate, we're allowing ourselves to think bigger and more deeply, right? And spending more time with, like, how do we better benefit society? What can we do to benefit the global society? Are you seeing that in curriculum? Is it coming about? Is there hope for us sitting in that uncomfortable space, even if we're not young, in our 20s, but still life 2.0 kind of thing?
Yeah. Thank you. As soon as you said AI, I look at right there, like, "Ugh." So we have the expert here. But I'll tell you from my standpoint, it is an uncomfortable situation, not just because it's a new tool, it's a new whatever it is, right? But also because So just a month ago, my provost, she's big on AI. So she said, "This are basically." She didn't say it. She forwarded an email says, "These are the AI skills you should acquire, or these are the jobs that are going to go away." Things like that, right? And okay, so I'm like, okay, let's look into that because yeah, that's great. And just this week, we get another email and said those that were studying that were trying to get certified in AI are doomed to fail. I'm like, what's going on, right? So either am I going to get into it or am I not? So I think this time of discomfort is wider. Um, what I know is true is that either while we get this sorted out, how is this going to affect education? How is this going to affect corporates, etc.? Well, this is sorted out. One needs to work on being adaptive because something's going to change, right? So that we know. Um, we don't know how. We don't know when. I mean, it's already changing, but we don't know when it's going to change. Like for you, personal, right? Uh, but one needs to be like very nimble right now. Like, okay, what's going on? What's going on, right? Also, I guess try to limit all the stuff that comes because where do we get this information, right? From magazines. Most of us. Some, if you go to in academia, the research and all that, that is fine. But if you subscribe to Wire magazine or all that, or those magazines, TikTok, whatever it is, it's hype. Why? Because they want clicks. Because they want you to read them. They want that, right? So and then all of a sudden you get five, and like, oh my god, can so. Bottom line is be nimble, be willing to adapt, start working in being adaptable. Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, in the back. Thank you.
Um, I wasn't sure if I caught this or not. Are you still a part of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce? I wasn't entirely sure about that.
I used to be the director of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. That was 15 years ago, more or less. I'm just a member now. I work with them. They're good friends of mine, but I don't do much work. I don't work in it. That's it. If that was a question, yeah.
Yeah, I was just kind of confused. I'm kind of a member there as one of the students. I just wasn't sure whether if to get one of the memberships that you guys provide or not.
If
'Cause
I
I'm not too sure about what the membership is, because I know you guys provide like a student membership, or I'm not sure if it was just like just for businesses too.
Oh, if you have an opportunity to go to Hispanic Chamber events, go because the Hispanic Chamber is doing a really cool stuff, trying to build that a pipeline of Latino students, right, from young all the way to professionals. The program that I told you that we developed when I was at Ferris. I brought it with me. I own that product, that training, and the Hispanic Chamber licenses that from me. So that is for young Latino professionals to develop skills, leadership, etc. But again, they are really doing cool stuff for students as young as high school, and then throughout and the and older in general.
Just as a
Okay.
side note,
Thank you
Carlos,
so much.
Liz and Casey are part of the Futuro Líderes.
Oh yes,
They are.
Futuro
Yes,
Líderes.
they are
Yes,
Futuro Líderes. And I'm Líderes alumni,
yes,
2024-25 cohort.
excellent.
I guess I'll be the voice for the virtual folks. So we have a question that was submitted, and it is, what would you suggest for urgent moments of discomfort, given your helpful remedies of breathing, writing, and sitting with emotions.
For remedies of discomfort. So, so again, I'm not talking about right like a physical discomfort, meaning like I ache, I have a or mental, but a discomfort. Um, Really is talking to somebody. And, there's the one of the beauties of therapy uh, is that it is not based on, and I probably getting myself into trouble, but as we express our thoughts outside of our brain hears them and starts developing solutions. When we keep them inside our brain, huh? Thank you. If we keep them inside our brain, they just keep getting, I don't know if worse, but just keep like on and on and on. And for some reason, at least happens to me, that the more I keep them inside my brain, it just goes like in a, right? And all of a sudden I'm like, what if I lose my leg? Where'd that happen? Right? I mean, it's just like doomsday kind of thing. So expressing and talking to somebody, right? There's one thing also that I do. To me, music is healing. It has that effect. Um, so it used to happen to me that I would be driving to work or from work, etc., and listening to a podcast, and it was podcast on Mexican politics. And within 10 minutes, I was like, and I stopped at a light and I thought, what the heck am I doing? I mean, nobody's forcing me to listen to this. I mean, I'm interested. Yes, I'm interested, but this is 1,000 miles away. It's really not affecting me. I was like, what? So shut it off. This unsubscribe from that podcast, and I don't follow a lot of podcasts right now, and and turn music on, and then just, of course, loud. I know this is loud. My wife keeps telling me this is way too loud. Yes, it is too loud because it needs to resonate inside me, right? So talking to somebody, really basically change your environment, even if it is the inside your car. Just listen to that music that is going to take you out of that, at least for a moment, until you relax. And now I can deal with the issue. Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
I had a question. You say something really important about higher education. We all know that higher education is not a right, it's a privilege. And for those who, like me, who came to the US without family or maybe without status, uh, we, we know that that is a barrier. But also having English as a second language, you say something really important. You say, my English was not good. I don't think that language is bad or good. You speak perfectly or not. You speak with accent or not. But language itself doesn't have value. So we put value on that.
Mm.
How can we encourage more Latino males like me pursue education when the barriers are there? When we want, yes, pursue higher education, but we don't have the access. I had to say, I am GRCC alumni. I was looking for a job here. It took me a lot of time. We need that connection. And I thank Jamilia Harley that gave me the opportunity, that saw the vision on me, and also believe in me. So we all need people like that. Because when nobody else opened the door for me, even though I was an alumni, she recognized that value and that leadership on me.
Mm.
And nobody out there is willing to do that because you need to
Mhm.
be humble because we have positional leaders, no leaders that lead with emotion, with kindness, and with heart. What message can you give to those like me who are pushing hard, who are burnt out, who are looking for help, but the doors are still closed?
That is a great question. I don't want it to sound fatalistic, but there's just so much that one can do, right? We need to accept that We carry the ball, the DNI ball, the Latino ball, the male, the female, whatever your cause is, basically, you take it from, because we didn't start this, right? There's many others that have been doing this for a number of years at GRCC, at whatever, right? So basically, you take the ball from someone who pushes just so far, and then you carry it, and understanding that there's just so much you can do, and be okay with that. Because when I think that if we put ourselves the expectation that I'm going to change this organization, it's, 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 it's too much, right? So just be conscious that I'm just going to do an incremental change, take it, I'm going to bring others, and if all possible, I'm going to identify who's going to carry it further up, right? Because this is not, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. Particularly when, if using the same analogy, when you're in the marathon, someone comes along and trips you and you fall, and or someone carries you back, 20 years back or whatever. Um, um, so it is hard, but again, being conscious that there's just so much that we can do. And when you are in a position that you can do something, um, take advantage of it, right? I was talking to a good friend of mine just few days ago, and when some of us get to the position that we can do something, let's not waste that opportunity, right? And do something. And I mean, there are a lot of sayings out there, right? Open the door and leave it propped so others can walk through it. When you get up to the next level, just bring another person down, and not just that, but bring it up, not bring it up, bring it up, and then prep that person to go ahead of you. Why? Because then again, there's just so much that I can do. Because unless you get paid to carry the weight of the organization on you to change the organization, people are gonna be frustrated all the time, right? At some point, you're gonna say, "It's 5 o'clock, Friday. I gotta go home to my family, to my friends, to my partner." I can't, right? Yeah, and I hope that helps. I hope it's not too fatalistic. Yes, Amelia.
I have both a comment and a question. So the comment was referencing an earlier question, and it was thank you for mentioning that we can choose to switch off or walk away from environments that are not productive or negative in impact. So thank you for that. And then the question is, you mentioned music, so someone in the virtual world is very interested in what's on your playlist.
Oh, I'll be if they shoot me an email, I'll be happy to share my playlist. Yeah, I've shared with one of my sisters, has been going through a tough time, and we had the great opportunity. She lives in Italy, and we hadn't seen each other in 2 years, and we saw each other in Mexico City earlier this year, and she's been going through some setbacks, and basically I gave her this talk, right, and she asked that. So what's your playlist? So I just shared it, and every now and then she texts me, goes, "This is cool," or something in Spanish, but like one song. I'm always looking for songs that again first uplift me physically. Be real honest. Sometimes lyrics are secondary. Of course, if they are like totally terrible lyrics, like offensive things like that, that's the beat can be fantastic, but no. But usually it has to help me going through that drive, and if you see me driving, you'll see me like all the time. Yeah. Anything else?
So you've been doing this for a little while now,
Mhm.
and you mentioned the importance and value around building wisdom, learning from mistakes, errors, gaps, and how that has kind of helped shaped you in terms of your leadership. With the nature of what's going on in the world, my question kind of alludes to how are you maybe pouring in differently that connects to your mistakes in the past, but of course history repeats itself, but times are very different in generations of students who we see day to day. And you mentioned your leadership and impact in trying to mentor and advise. So I'm wondering what are some of those like affirmations or pour into moments that you're really leaning onto today that kind of helps folks to find hope, find some shining moments, pick themselves back up, and maybe even stay motivated to do this work that we're doing.
Yeah. So first, I'll say it's a delicate balance. Um, Telling somebody young, because we have two granddaughters, um, early 20s and late teens. That's correct? Yes, I got it right. And they're very active. And of course, so one lives abroad. She sees all that is happening in our country from outside. And the youngest is here, so they're very active. Of course, they're very upset at what is going on. So it's very, it's a very delicate balance saying, um, yes, keep that fire burning because, yeah, I mean, this country was funded by people who had a burning fire in them, right? But also like, hey, chill, like give yourself a break, right? So it's a delicate balance because sometimes it might come as a all or nothing, right? Are you telling me to keep fighting or stop fighting? No, there's like something in the middle, right? But also understand that, going back to the same thing, this is a marathon, and in the future of the country does not rely only on you, but you are a really important part of it. I was telling them in not too long ago when we all got together about voting, right? And the they mentioned what many people mentioned, but what does that good? What does that do? Nobody really cares about me voting or not. It always will happen. It will happen. What happens? And I challenged that because I read also it's kind of like a meme, I guess. If your vote wasn't important, they will not be trying to take it away from you, right? They will not make it harder to vote for you. So yes, it is important, but the future of the country does not rely solely on you. So take it easy, um, and but yeah, but keep and also I guess I would say embrace what we're going through right now. So when is the time to do something? Let's keep that fire going and let's do something all together so we don't come back to what is happening for our communities. So yeah.
Got a question here.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
My question is, what will peace or what will peace or contentment look like at the stage of your discomfort?
Ooh, that's a great question. What do peace? I don't think I have achieved peace yet. I Yeah, I don't think I'm at peace yet, and I try to, in embracing discomfort, I try to. It's not really. I try to create discomfort. I try to, yeah, try to be uncomfortable because I know that keeps me alive. I will probably find peace when I retire, when yeah, when I'm like, okay, I already um, help others keep the take the ball and run with it. It's time for me to relax, but I'm not at peace yet. So what would that look like? Um, I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, I'm not. I'm still in discomfort because I'm creating it. Yeah.
Any other questions? Any online? Okay. Let's thank Carlos for all of his work and
Thank you.
for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm going to invite Jamelia back down to close us out, but thank you so much again for being here. And there she goes.
I thought you had it.
No, you got it. You go ahead.
Thank you again so much. Can we give another round of applause for Carlos?
Thank you. Thank you.
So just a couple closing items. Of course, thank you all for joining us today. This was very, very enlightening and powerful, or empowerment to me. So, and I hope others feel the same way. So I really want to express my gratitude and thanks to you for joining us today. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a feedback QR code. Please, please, please take a moment to scan the QR code on the screen and provide us with your feedback as we continue to put these events together, make some changes and transform as it relates to our campus and what we're trying to do. Your voice and impact and your feedback is very, very much so appreciated. And last but not least, if you have or need a parking pass, please see me at the check-in station. I'll be glad to validate your parking. We have some things that we can hand you. Also, if you are around come November, our last of the fall lineup speaker will be on campus November 20th. It'll be very much the same format, but it'll be in Sneeden. So we'll have another brunch feel, and then speaker come in, and it's actually Dr. Kelly Christopher, owner and CEO of STEM House or Green STEM in Grand Rapids. So she'll be joining us and kind of talking to us about some of the gaps and challenges that she's been seeing in her arena. So we're very excited about partnering with Future Tech for that last of our fall speaker series. So I think that's all on my list of closing items. Did I do all right, Alyssa? All right, wonderful. Well, thank you all again. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. If you're a Michigan State fan, I'll be thinking of you. Go Blue as we play y'all this weekend. But yes, go in peace and be safe today. And let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.